Just as pumpkin spice unofficially kicks off the fall season, so does this cocktail to year-end celebrations. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nerlande and every week I bring you tips and tricks on how to create boozy cupcakes. If you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll always know when I upload new videos. Thanksgiving is behind us and it's officially eggnog season. Whether you like it hot or cold, this beverage is synonymous with end-of-year activities here in the United States. Along with eggnog comes ugly sweaters, Christmas markets, seasonal window displays, and of course the parties, the food, and the cocktails. Just as pumpkin spice unofficially kicks off the fall season, so does this cocktail to the holiday end-of-year celebration. It's no surprise then that our cocktail inspiration for today is eggnog, specifically Amaretto eggnog, and our cupcake is a rum cupcake filled with eggnog custard and topped with an eggnog German buttercream with a pipette of Amaretto liqueur. The full recipe will be found in the link in the description below. For those of you wondering about the origins of eggnog, there's quite a debate about it. However, the eggnog as we know it today most likely comes from an old English flu and cold remedy called posset. It included hot milk, eggs, ale or wine flavored with spices and was drunk by 13th century monks. Fast forward to 18th century America, and eggnog became widely popular, being made with whiskey and rum. It was even served by George Washington to his guests. One thing to note, it was still being used as a cold and flu remedy, just like the posset. Traditional eggnog is made with milk or cream, sugar, raw eggs, one or more spirits, and spices, usually vanilla, cinnamon, and nutmeg. The raw eggs did not cause any health concerns at the time because traditionally the eggnog was aged and the alcohol acted as a bactericide, which means that it killed any bacteria in the eggs. The aging process required that alcohol be added to the eggnog mixture every couple of days over a period of weeks or sometimes months. In the end, the alcohol content in eggnog was extremely high. Modern-day eggnog requires the use of pasteurized eggs in the raw egg recipe or for the egg yolks to be cooked with milk in a custard as a safety precaution. Commercial eggnogs contain very little eggs, however they do have a lot of thickening agents and food coloring to get to the final product. Fun fact, the hot version of eggnog is actually called a Tom and Jerry. It was widely popular and it was invented by a British journalist in the 1820s. It includes both rum and brandy as the base liquor. The United States is not the only place where eggnog is consumed. Other variations are enjoyed throughout the world, such as the coquito in Puerto Rico, made with fresh coconut milk and coconut juice, the rompope in Mexico, which uses Mexican cinnamon, the beer sup in Germany, which uses beer, and the biblio con pisco in Peru, which is made with Peruvian brandy. Let me know in the comments below if you love eggnog or a variation. Personally, I prefer the Haitian crémasse. It's a milk-based liqueur that sometimes contains coconut milk, but no eggs. It uses grain alcohol or rum as the base liquor and is delicious. Our Amaretto eggnog is simple and calls for 1 cup of eggnog, 1.5 ounces of Amaretto liqueur that you put together and stir. For the cupcake, since homemade eggnog is basically a custard, we'll be using pastry cream. Pastry cream is a thickened custard, and we'll be flavoring it with vanilla, cinnamon, and nutmeg just like eggnog. So we'll take our pastry cream and mix it with rum to create the filling for our rum cupcake. The pastry cream is then used in the German buttercream, which is whipped butter and custard. So without further ado, let's start making the cupcake. For the pastry cream, we'll be using a very simple recipe that is very easy to make. Start with a medium-sized saucepan and add to it the sugar and the cornstarch. Whisk them together until they are very well combined. Then, separately in a measuring cup, add your milk and your egg yolks and whisk them together until they are well incorporated. Finally, on a medium fire, add your saucepan and add the milk mixture to the sugar and cornstarch mixture and start stirring. You need to constantly keep stirring until the end of the process so that it doesn't burn. While this is on the fire, start stirring and add your butter. Continue stirring until the butter is completely melted. Then add your spices, cinnamon and nutmeg, and continue stirring. It will start to cook and start to bubble away and start to thicken. At that point, you wait about 1 minute while it starts boiling, and you continue whisking until the minute is over. Turn off the fire and add the vanilla extract and take your mixture and set it aside to cool, covering it with a plastic wrap, making sure to put the plastic wrap right up against the pastry cream so that it doesn't form a crust. For the cupcake, using a stand mixer, add the butter and sugar to your bowl and start beating until light and fluffy. Then add your eggs one at a time, making sure to beat well between additions and to scrape the bowl down between additions. Then add your flour mixture, which includes the salt, the baking powder, the nutmeg and cinnamon. Add a third of the flour mixture to your batter, then half of the milk to the batter, making sure to mix well between additions. Continue adding another third of the flour and then the other half of the milk, and finish off with the flour and continue mixing until the batter is nice and silky. At that point, separate the batter into your prepared cupcake pans and bake the cupcakes on 350 degrees for about 17 to 19 minutes. Set aside to cool. For the filling, take about half a cup of the prepared pastry cream that had been cooled. It will be a little jiggly. Using a whisk or a hand mixer, go ahead and whisk it until it is nice and smooth. Then add the rum and continue whisking until it is very well incorporated. The frosting we're making today is a German buttercream, which consists of whipped butter and custard. So start with your butter and add it to a stand mixer and start whipping it until it is light in color. That will be about 4 to 5 minutes. Then slowly add the custard 1 spoonful at a time until all of it is incorporated. Add the rum and the vanilla extract and continue whipping until done. For the assembly, take your cupcakes and using a cupcake corer or a small knife and make a hole in the middle of the cupcake. Do that for all of your cupcakes. Then, take your prepared filling and fill all of the cupcake cavities. Take your frosting, frost the cupcakes. Using a pipette, take some amaretto, fill the pipette, and decorate the cupcakes with the filled amaretto pipettes. As you can see, custard is so versatile. It can be used to make homemade eggnog, cupcake filling, German buttercream, and allows us to infuse the flavors of our cocktail in our cupcake. If you would like to see another recipe that uses a versatile base, go check out the Chai White Russian cupcake video. If you like this video and would like to see more, like and subscribe and check out the playlist below. As always, it was a pleasure hanging out with you. Remember to eat and drink responsibly. Bye!